Before I start this review, Merry Christmas, everybody, and I really want to thank you all for the support you've given me this year. You all are awesome, and I hope this Christmas present is worthwhile to all of you. Now, for my Christmas special, I decided to review a block that is quite forgotten by most people. In fact, there is only one video talking about this topic. There used to be two, but one of them ended up being privated. The topic I am talking about is KidsClick. KidsClick is a very interesting block, and it unfortunately ran for a short while. It had a website on computer, smartphone, tablet, and you were able to watch it on TV, obviously. Anyways, it is a Saturday morning block, weekday block, hosted by Sinclair Broadcasting. Unfortunately, it did not last long, as we all know. Though, I love this block, and I do remember watching it quite a bit while going to the bus stop early in the morning. So I have a big history with this block and all of its shows. Anyways, with that tangent out of the way, what I decided to do for the Christmas special, I'm going to review every KidsClick show ever. This is gonna be a long video, which is why I'm gonna be telling you guys this. KidsClick aired acquired programming. Not too much, but just a tiny bit. They didn't air big acquired programs, but they did play most of the stuff that you would find on your typical Saturday morning lineup. Just a quick heads up. Got that? Alright, good. Anyways, let's start this review by talking about the backstory of KidsClick. KidsClick was launched in summer of 2017 by Sinclair Broadcast Group that would begin airing on My Network TV stations and, if you were lucky, CW stations. Sinclair Broadcast Group did actually think it was a good idea to open Saturday morning cartoons, considering that they own a lot of stations in the US. But they mostly consisted of Fox, CW, and My Network stations. But they still had a good chunk of content to air, and they think airing KidsClick was a good idea to begin with. So, yeah, Sinclair launched KidsClick right after that. There's not much to be said here, but KidsClick does have a very interesting schedule. They air from weekends from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., but they also air on weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., offering programming for kids just before school. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think this block might have caught your attention as well. It basically runs for 3 hours every single day each morning. Alright, it's time to review every KidsClick show ever, starting with the acquired programming. In fact, we're just going to be talking about acquired programming throughout this entire video. It's kind of like Cubo. They've also aired acquired programming too. And yes, I am aware my Cubo Iceberg video is my most popular video on my channel. You don't need to tell me that. Anyways, let's begin reviewing every single Cubo show. KidsClick show with Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. I'm gonna be honest, this show was just average. It wasn't really that good, but it wasn't really that bad either. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It was average. Max Steel, aka the 2013 reboot of Max Steel. I'm gonna be honest, I barely remember this show, but I do remember watching it sometimes on Disney XD, and from what I remember, I liked it. I really did like it. I wish I could rewatch it now because if I did, this score would have been either higher or lower. But either way, it'll stand at a 7 out of 10. It was a good show. Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir. This was a popular one. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this show. I kinda like it, but I don't care for it. I just think it's decent. So I think a 6 out of 10 would work. RoboCop Alpha Commando, aka the 1990s RoboCop cartoon. This show was actually pretty solid. Again, like Max Steel, I barely remember any episodes from the show, but from what I've watched, I did really enjoy it, and I did think it was slightly better than Max Steel, so it'll get a 7.5 out of 10. Sonic X. Yes, Sonic X aired on KidsClick. Only for a short while, though. Like RoboCop, it's pretty good, but I barely remember a single thing about it. And plus, all the Sonic cartoons get this score. Like, I think they're all really good and serviceable, but nothing much else. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for all those Sonic cartoons, not just Sonic X. Pink Panther and Pals. This is literally my favorite show on this block, and I'm so glad they kept it throughout the entirety of the block because this is a really funny show. I'm a huge fan of Pink Panther, and this reboot definitely stuck to its source material. I really liked this show, and I'm so glad KidsClick aired it throughout their run. Rocket Monkeys. I used to like this show, but yeah, looking back, everyone was right. The show is pretty bad, and it doesn't age well at all. So yeah, 3 out of 10 works. But it's a good kind of bad, if you know what I mean. Super 4. And yes, if you haven't guessed, this is Playmobil's attempt at Lego Ninjago. It doesn't work, and it's one of my least favorite shows on the block. This is basically just a ripoff of every single Lego TV show ever. Legends of Chima, Ninjago, that new Lego City show on Nickelodeon, any of them. Literally any of them. This show rips it off. And it's not good. Like, the show is boring and has nothing good about it. So yeah, we can just move on. I don't want to talk about this one. Dinosaur King, aka like the 4Kids stuff. I'm gonna be honest, this show did not age well either, but it aged less badly than Rocket Monkeys. And plus, it is a rip-off of Pokemon, but it's a good kind of rip-off of Pokemon, so I'll give it a 4 out of 10. It's another good kind of bad, but it's more mediocre than bad, so let's be honest. Zack Storm. Let's be honest, this was not as good as Miraculous. And I barely even remember a single thing about this show, but from what I've watched, I didn't really care for it. So a 4 out of 10 seems appropriate. Monster High, aka the animated series. I never watched this show because it's not my target demographic. Simple. Barbie Dreamtopia. Again, I never watched it because it was not in my target demographic. The CGI, DQ, and Entertainment Jungle Book series. I never watched this show. However, I have seen bits and pieces of it on the Hub Network, so at least I've heard of it. Transformers, Energon, and Cybertron. I'm just gonna put these two together because they both take place in the same universe. And they're literally the same show, just different shows, reboots, something like that. I don't know. Uh I love both of these shows though. Y'all know the animated Transformers shows, they're all solid. These two especially were pretty good. Looking back, I honestly did enjoy both. I need to rewatch the Transformers anime series. Like, it's actually pretty underrated. The Legendaries. I never watched a single episode of this show when it was airing. I probably will never watch a single episode because this show looks weird. Like, really weird. Mechard. I never watched it, but I think I've seen bits and pieces of some episodes. So I might give this one a rating once I've watched a couple of episodes of it. Team Hot Wheels. I never watched this one, but let's be honest, this show is also not in my target demographic, even though it should be. But I actually prefer Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 if any of you watched that one. Angry Birds Tunes. Yeah, I didn't forget about this one. This is also one of my favorites. Like, I liked Angry Birds a lot, and I really like this. And the Angry Birds movie, like, I enjoyed both movies. I'll be fair, I enjoyed both equally. Scary Larry. Is this a spin off of Ruby Loom? I don't think so. Even though it looks like one. But I never watched this one because it was airing before I started watching KidsClick, and it went off the air once I started watching. So yeah. Winx Club. It's average. I mean, obviously I don't care for it because it's not my target demographic and it's too girly for me to handle. But you know, Winx Club isn't the worst. I don't care for it, but it's not terrible. 5 out of 10 seems appropriate. Augie and the Cockroaches. This is an underrated show, and it's pretty funny as well. I'm just gonna admit it right now. Um, so yeah, I think 8 out of 10 is appropriate for this show. That's pretty much all I have to say. Lego Friends Girls on a Mission. I never watched this one because, again, not in my target demographic. And that's actually it. Wow, there were a lot of shows I didn't watch, but keep in mind there were still a handful of shows on the block that I did watch and enjoy. So yeah. KidsClick is interesting. It tried to return the favor of Saturday morning cartoons to a modern Gen Z audience, but it sadly did not work. And that obviously all ended But hey, KidsClick left a really good legacy, and we won't forget about it. So let's talk about how it unfortunately ended. In 2019, March to be exact, KidsClick announced on their Facebook page that they would be discontinuing without any formal announcement on TV. And yeah, this was a very heavy announcement, and I'm kind of sad. And I was kind of sad to see this block go. It left on March 31st, 2019, and has not returned since. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this block ended with a whimper and not with a bang. But hey, at least it inspired other companies to make Saturday morning blocks. I mean, look at MeTV. They already have one of their own. So yeah, Saturday morning cartoons are still alive, but they're definitely on oxygen. So they'll probably die again eventually, and Lit Entertainment will just reign supreme. But you gotta give respect to KidsClick for trying something new by reviving Saturday morning cartoons for a new audience. Anyways, I'm Tired TV, and Merry Christmas to all of you. I really hope you all enjoyed this Christmas special. I will see you all next time.